Hi there, it's Miss Gretchen here. Welcome to my studio. So today we're going to talk about key signatures. So there's some examples here on the front page of some key signatures. But let's see how we're going to figure these out. So a key signature is that thing that appears right after the clef sign. So there's some circled here in the examples of the place that those will show up. It tells us what notes are automatically flat or sharp. That is, once it says there, like in this example, it says F sharp. That means that they're expecting that every time we see an F, we're going to sharp it without them telling us anything. A key signature might contain sharps, or it might contain flats, or it might be blank. But it's never going to have a combination of flats and sharps together. So the flats and sharps, they always show up in a particular order. So for instance, the order of the sharps is here, the F, C, G, D, A, E, B. What that's telling you is if you have two sharps, it will always be an F sharp and a C sharp. If you have four sharps, it'll always be F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. They never mix and match. So you'll never see a D sharp all by itself or an A sharp and a G sharp all by themselves. Always they have to have the ones in front of them. The same thing's true for flats. For flats, their order is B, E, A, D, G, C, F. Now what that is saying is if I ever have four flats, they will always be B, E, A, D in that order. I'll never see a D flat all by itself in the key signature. You notice that the order of the flats and sharps, if you take the order of the sharps and flip it over, you get the order of flats. So really there's only one order to remember. It's not really two. You just have to remember one's reverse of the other. I usually find the order of the flats to remember easier because the beginning of it spells bead and then GCF. There are two key signatures that there's no little rule to help you remember. It's F major, which there's one flat shown on the left, and C major, which is the blank key signature, no sharps, no flats, which is on the right. Some people, if they're having trouble remembering that F and C are the special ones, they remember a fat cat. And that fat cat starts with F and C. Those are the two we have to memorize. The others, there are little rules I'm going to teach you here to show you how to remember them. Okay, for sharp keys, you go to the last sharp. Now, by last sharp, I mean the one furthest to the right. And from there, you go up a half step. So, for example, in our example one, we have an F sharp in our key signature. Pick your clef. And we go up one from F sharp and we get G. So this is G major. Let's look at another sharp one. Example number two. We have F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. So the one furthest to the right is the G sharp. And from G sharp, we go up a half a step and we get to A. That rule works for everything that has sharps in the key signature. Flats. Flats are a totally different rule, but this rule works for all the flats. So we go, it's the second to the last flat. That's second to the last from the right. So if I look at this first example, example one, I have B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat. D flat's the last one, furthest to the right, so I go back one to A flat. That A flat, that's the name of the key signature. So it's not like sharps, we have to go up to get to the name. One of the flats is actually the name of the key, the key. So let's take a look at the second one. The second example is B flat major. We've got B flat and E flat in the key signature. We go all the way to the right and we see E flat. We go back one flat to the left to B flat. That's the name of the key signature. It's B flat major. That rule works for all of the flat key signatures. So there's a rule for the sharps, which is go up a half step, and the rule for the flats, which is go back one flat. And then the two you have to memorize. And then you know them all. Okay, minor keys. This is an interesting thing because in our music, almost everything are major keys. And this is a little bit simple way to explain it. But major keys are often sound a little more upbeat, a little happier. There's more to it in the details of the music, but that's a good way to think of it. Minor keys are the keys that sound generally a little more sad, a little more sorrowful. But the interesting part is that every key signature stands for a major key and a minor key. So for instance, if I have C major and I want to figure out what the minor key is that same key signature stands for, I go up 6 notes. So if I was to count, I'm going to start with C. So C, D, E, F, G, A. When I get to the 6th note of the scale, the 6th note up from C, that's the name of our minor. So our minor is A minor. So when you see a C major key signature, it actually could be standing for A minor also. You can usually tell by listening to the piece. Major is much more common for us. Let's look at another example. Another example would be A major. So from A major, let's figure out what the minor is. Let's go up. A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp. So F sharp minor has the same key signature as A major. If you're counting up and you're just going A, B, C, D, E, F, once you get there, when you get there, check the key signature to see if it has a sharp or a flat on that note, because that'll affect the name of the minor key. Okay, so that gives you the information that you need to do the basics of key signatures. You'll also find that there are online flashcards that go along with this for both major and minor keys. You can use the same flashcards, do the majors. Then when you're ready to do the minors are also listed there.